Aloha interwebs, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today is Saturday and it's the opening weekend of Hobbit Part 2, The Desolation of Smaug, and we are here at the theater to see it. We actually just saw it. We just got out of it. I didn't do my traditional intro when we got here. I kind of skipped that going into it, so I'm doing it now because it's over. And I haven't processed it the whole way. But I would like to start off by saying I was a tad disappointed. But we'll get into that. You guys check out part of the trailer, and when we get back, we'll talk about it.
We don't. There is no king under the mountain, nor will there ever be.
It will not end here. With every victory, this evil...
Alrighty, interwebs. There you have it. The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. And I thought it was pretty good. One thing that I noticed that this movie kind of really brought to my attention is that much like the first trilogy that came out, the Lord of the Rings trilogy that came out, there is in each of those movies a very long and large amount of walking. There's a lot of scenes where you get aerial shots of the people walking. They walked all over the place because they walked for a really long time. It's a big place. They didn't have horses. They didn't have trains back in the day. Good old Middle Earth. So they did their fair share of walking to get around, and a lot of that was incorporated into the movie just so you could see where, just kind of like how long this thing was taking and what kind of travel was being done. And in this movie, in The Hobbit, there is also a fair amount of travel that needs to be done to get from point A to point B, but I don't think that they really focused on that as much. It seemed to be a little bit more kind of scene to scene to scene to scene. There is some travel in there. But it always seems like there's something going on during that travel. There's some kind of action scene that takes them from one place to another place, so you're not really kind of bogged down with this feeling of them just kind of walking through the mountain. It seemed to me like it was a little bit more action, a little bit more fast paced. It was more from a lot of that, like, it's like chasing to chasing to chasing with not a lot of walking in between. So it seemed more fast paced, and it seemed more like action packed as you can get one of these kind of movies, which is more like story driven than action driven. But the thing that I wanted to really kind of see in the first movie was the dragon. And then in this movie, finally, it's the Desolation of Smaug, and you're gonna see some dragons. So even though I just said that they didn't do a lot of walking, it didn't seem like they did. They did do a lot of traveling, but there was a lot of action involved in that, and then a lot of it was involved with introducing new characters and establishing where the story was going from the first movie. And then we get to the dragon portion, and I wanted more dragon. Still, the cinematography was fantastic. The acting is really well done. I'm really liking how the dwarves are playing off of each other, and the introduction of new characters is always fun. Overall, I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. I've been a fan of the Alan Jackson's vision of how this is supposed to be going since the beginning of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So this was my fourth most highly anticipated movie of the 2013 season out of my top 5. But it's the last one on that list that I'm going to get to see this year. So I wasn't disappointed. I was really looking forward to seeing it. I saw it, and overall I was happy about it. I was a little disappointed in the end. But that being said, the way that it did end was actually pretty cool. I was hoping for something different, but what I got wasn't what I was expecting, but it was still pretty cool. It's kind of cool that this is coming out during Christmas time, because it's slow for movies. Although we do have, Anchorman 2 coming up and good old 47 Ronin. I think I'll take the giant fire-breathing dragon over those two. Although there's a fire-breathing dragon in 47 Ronin. Anyways, I thought this one was cool. If you've been a fan, you'll continue to be a fan, in my opinion. And if you're not really a fan of the genre, but you want to see something cool, go see this one. And now, spoilers. Really, the only spoiler situation that I want to talk about in this movie, it really comes down to the end. The actual destroying of the dragon. As a lot of you may know from the book, and or even if you've seen the old animated version of The Hobbit, there's going to, at some point, come to the head where a bunch of armies get to fight each other. Orcs and humans and the dwarves, and they after the dragon has fallen, they are fighting over the gold. So that's eventually going to happen, and that is going to be like a big thing, not just like like a footnote. It to me seemed like it was going to deserve its own movie, but we get to the end of this movie, and all they managed to do was piss off the dragon. So it doesn't end with the death of the dragon. So the next movie is going to involve it's going to start off with probably establishing a little bit of that, or right into dragon death action, and that's going to take up a considerable amount of time in the film. So I was a little disappointed in that, because it seems to me like that's a lot to jam into one movie, it being the third one that's coming out next Christmas. Seems like a lot to jam into just that one movie. So I hope that last movie doesn't end up being, crammed with too much stuff and it ends up feeling rushed. Whereas the other two movies seem like they just took their damn time establishing the story as the movies were going along, and then all of a sudden we get to the end and we gotta kind of rush to the killing of the dragon, and then rush to the fight and the war, and then get to the resolution of the story. Let me know what you guys thought. Comments, questions below, Facebook, Twitter, whatever you want to do. Just talk about the movie. Peace out, interwebs. Thanks for stopping by the channel. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe. Catch you guys in the next video. You know what, guys? I don't know if it's a good idea to go messing with that dragon. I mean, have you guys forgotten what happened to Dale?
Have you forgotten what happened to Dale?
Dude, that's what I said.